Dave here, JDH Reptiles. In this video today, we're going to do the second part of our incubator build. Incubator actually is already out there running, so this is, I kind of did the build first, and now I'm going to do the intro and outro. But you'll see in the video, basically I start out by laying the heat tape. I explain how I did that, where I ran the cords, and in video 3 we'll have a more in-depth look at exactly where those cords were run, how I got them out of the incubator and up to the herpstat, as well as we'll start looking at temperatures, how I'm going to do the shelving and all that. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. There's a little bit of commentary. It's my first time trying to do that while I have a video running. Hope you guys enjoy, and we'll talk to you soon. Alright guys, so here you'll see that I've installed the heat tape on the right side of the enclosure. So what I did was I had a hole cut in the top where I ran the power cords for the heat tape out of it. I taped it off to close it up. I'll eventually use a rubber plug of sorts to seal the area, but for the time being I just used some tape. Here I used the aluminum foil tape to hold down the heat panel on both sides, starting from the top working to the bottom. Yeah, long day, sweaty, hot, and not a lot of room for a big guy like me. First one's done, gonna move to the second side. So here's same thing. You'll see I unwrap the cord, I run the cord up through the hole that I have placed in the top of the incubator. I then start by taking about a 2-foot strip of tape. I start at the very top, and I will start by taping down one side. After that, I'll get another piece and I'll tape the other side, pressing firmly against the tape to make sure that it stays in place. I also want to make sure that the tape is completely flat against the back of the incubator. So as I start from side to side, you'll see I take my hand and I swipe it down the tape, and that's to make sure there's no air pockets or anything underneath. The bottom wasn't nearly as tricky as it appears to be. I just pushed the tape up against the back of the incubator, made a nice tight L shape in the bottom, and again used the heat tape or the tape to hold it in place. Here you see I turned the lights on. This does have 2 fluorescent lights, one on the top and one on the inside. Here's where I'm going to mount the doors. They just slide in a track, and that's that. It's fairly simple. Then wash down the outside of the doors. The inside were washed earlier before doing this video. Now since then, what I've done is I have added a herpstat 1 thermostat to this, and I have the probe floating in the front section of the incubator. It's pretty simple. The doors for right now are just going to sit there. Eventually I'll probably use a latch to hold it in place. What you don't see, but I'll add to the video later on, is I do have 2 probes that read on a thermometer, one on the top and one on the bottom. And as of right now, this setup runs pretty darn even. Alright guys, so that's the end of the build video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Again, when I was saying using my hands to lay the tape, I was referring to the heat tape, by the way, not the metal foil tape. So basically you want to take your hands, as I started with a strip on one side, then I would take my hand and I would smooth it out. That way it draws the heat tape firmly against the back of the incubator and downward. That way when I lay the next strip of the adhesive tape to hold it in place, it didn't have any bubbles in it. The idea is to make sure that the heat tape is firmly pressed against the back of the incubator. That way you don't get any moisture, any bubbles or separation between the incubator and your heat tape. So it's real simple. It took me all of maybe 45 minutes to lay the heat tape, get the doors installed, and put the lights in. Currently I'm going to put LED tube lights in there, not colored. but we're going to try those out for a bit. I do have one inside. The one that was made for the outside showed up damaged, so I'll wait for a new one to show up. Hopefully it'll work, and then we're going to jump into the third video, where again I'll show you a little bit more of how I got the cords out of the incubator, how I'm going to use a plug to get that sealed up, and then we're going to start the shelving as well. So I got some plans in the works for shelving. I do want to start and get those designed, and then when it's all ready to go, I'll get a video out for that. So stay tuned. It's a project I'm working on very adamantly. Like, I'm trying to really get to this and get it done, because I don't want any more clutches to delay while I'm making that incubator, mainly because even though I do have the Igloo cooler incubator, I really would like to have that one set up and ready to go for this next season. So my idea is within the next probably 30 to 60 days, this incubator will be completed. It will be tested using other methods, not eggs, and then from there we will go ahead and use it for the following season. But thanks again, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, that way you guys will know when the next video comes out. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care, and see you on the flip side.